G'day guys, my name is Bryce and I work for the East Gippsland Catchment Management Authority. Recently we launched our citizen science project, Frogs of the Far East, where we're tracking frog recovery since the 2019-20 Black Summer bushfires in and around our local areas. So today we're here encouraging you guys to make frog hotels. Why are frog hotels important? They are a spot that allows frogs to have a safe area to rest and breed within your very own backyard, and this directly helps frog populations in the wider areas. A lot of our catchments and our waterways burnt really hot. Our frogs seem to be doing quite well after the fires, and this is really important because frogs are biological indicators. If there's no frogs, that means there's something wrong with the waterways. If there are frogs, that means our waterways are nice and healthy. Frog hotels, awesome way to get frogs in your backyard. So grab your cup of tea, cup of coffee, grab a bit of cake, and I'm going to show you how to make your very own frog hotel. So how do you make your own frog hotel? Well, you need a few things, but really your imagination is your limit. Today I've got this nice sturdy trough which we've been able to recycle for this project. You can use plastic pots, terracotta pots, anything really that is watertight and will hold water. You also need some plants, so here I've got some fern species that will help create a moist microclimate which will help frogs during hot summer days. You also need your frog hotel. Here I've got some 50mm pipe. The reason I chose 50mm pipe is because we get some quite large tree frogs in and around Malakuta, such as the green and gold bell frog and Perrin's tree frog. So you want it large enough that they can hop into here and rest during the day. You also need some gravel to fill it up and also some water to help keep the frog hotel cool and moist during our hot summers. Before you start making your frog hotel, it's really important to make sure that the equipment that you're using and the materials that you're using are well and truly cleaned from potential diseases like chytrid, which negatively impacts frogs, and also chemical residues. So I've given most of this stuff a wash, but what you can do is get some tank water or some water out of your tap and just make sure you give everything a good rinse and you dry it out in the sun before you start making your frog hotel. For today's project, we're using locally sourced river gravel that has been washed and dried out in the sun. So now that we've set up our frog real estate, it's time to establish our hotels. So really it's up to you. You can use 40, 50, 75, 100mm pipe. It's really your imagination that's the only limit. Today I've used a T-section. You can use 90, it's up to you. So once we've washed this, we've cut it to length. You don't want it any longer than your arm. You don't want it too low because predators like snakes, dogs and cats might be able to get in and eat your frogs, but you don't want it too high either because that's a long way for a tree frog to climb up and they might be taken by kookaburras or other birds of prey. So what we do is we just bury this down, compact it in, and now we've just got to go and make our other two hotels, and then we'll get in putting some plants in and putting some water and rocks in here and really jazzing it up a little bit for our new residents. Just a really quick message, before you start cutting your pipe, make sure you have a container or a way to capture all those tiny little plastic fragments because we don't want them ending up in our waterways. So there you go, that's the final frog hotel. As you can see, we've chosen various heights, different designs. What we're going to do is let the frogs decide what they like best. So now it's time to add the water. The critical thing with your frog hotel is not to put too much water into the base of your frog real estate. You want it below the gravel level. This isn't a frog pond. If you fill it up with too much water, you're potentially going to create a breeding spot for mosquitoes, and then you've got a mozzie problem, and that ain't too fun. So just below the gravel level, you want it to be nice and moist. So the idea is the moisture keeps everything nice and cool for the frogs throughout the day. So now it's time to do some interior decorating. Here at the East Gippsland Catchment Management Authority, we love our native plants. So today I've chosen an array of native fern species to the local area. But if you're in a position where the plants that you use within your frog hotel aren't going to escape into our catchments and our waterways and become an environmental weed, we highly recommend that you use species like bromeliads and other water-loving retaining species. Any plant that helps retain moisture and creates habitat for the frogs, it's a goer. So let's get these plants in and get some interior decorating done and dusted. So this is our frog hotel. Now we want to see your frog hotel. Be sure to share your creative designs with us on Facebook or send us an email.